Hi, my name is Juan Daniel Sanchez. Now I am going to tell you something about the Second World War, the atomic bombing, Hitler, Einstein, and all fun facts and interesting topic concerning that interesting fact. And yeah, hope you find here something that you know and enjoy it. Thanks.
First of all, we have to say that the atomic bombing was the last big bellic event that took place on Earth. It caused the devastation of two big cities in Japan and also the losses of hundreds of people that were in the middle of the war and were pretty innocent. So yeah, it happened in Japan in 1945 and it means the end of the Second World War. It was such a big plan and a big study from the US government and also from the US Army. It is believed that it was a method of warfare. In the first picture I have the little boy. It was the first atomic bomb that was built. And yeah, in that moment the human race were in the middle of a nuclear race of new technologies and new weapons. And also the first country that could develop it in a good way will win the war. That was what most of the countries were like wanting. In the second picture I have Hitler. It is probable that most of you have heard something about that big character of the Second World War. And yeah, he was planning a project called by himself Manhattan Project. It consists in develop an atomic bomb with the nuclear ideas of Albert Einstein. And yeah, he thought that Einstein could help, and he contacted him by a Nazi group. So in that moment, Einstein wrote a letter to the president. At that moment was Franklin Roosevelt, saying that they were planning to construct some weapon with uranium-235, and yeah, the president says that yeah, he could do it, they could do it, but he has to be working there. So he begins to create a laboratory in Tennessee. After all, they developed the weapon, and they found in a first moment that the weapon were more powerful than expected. So they tested in Mexico in a desert in Los Alamos, and they found, yeah, as I said before, that it was more powerful than expected, and they found the motivation to build another one to drop it into the real world. So yes, they decided to do it, and when they were thinking in what place throw it, that's why I say why Japan, they was planning to throw it into Germany. But in that moment, the German nation was surrendered of the war, so it has no sense to throw it because they were not in the middle of the war anymore. So they start to look into another place, and they find Japan. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were two cities that in that moment were not too devastated, too affected by the war. So many people were going to live, to work, to see how they can refugee in those big cities. And the US governments look of it and say, yes, it is the place in which we can do more damage and devastation. The first one, the little boy, was thrown into Hiroshima on August 6, 1945 in the morning, and it caused several damage and deaths in seconds. The second one, the fat man, was planned to throw it into Kokura, another city in Japan, but due to weather conditions they decided to change it and to go to Nagasaki. But the outcome was not expected because of the mountainous terrain that provides some shelter to the residents in that place. For the consequences, it affected the war in the way that it means the surrender of Japan and the end of the Belgic conflict, because it was the obvious decision. They have to do it taking in mind what happened before, the deaths, the people, everything. The human devastation continues nowadays. People still have remaining with some kind of genetic problems. They start to, in that moment the people burn in seconds, they begin to lose hair and many things, talking about the genetic. And it remains nowadays, and also have good consequences and implications. The creation of organizations and groups like the ONU, the United Nations, which help a lot to prevent that, to not repeating, and to say new rules, and more communication. Everything is now clear, and the humanity has been growing since that, and I hope and I think that it will continue growing. Thank you so much, and hope you will enjoy it.